What's going on, you guys? Welcome back to EP09. So let's start this one off with the prejudging from the Vancouver Pro. The battle for the top two came down to Hassan Mostafa and Stanimal, which is exactly what I had predicted going into this show. Now, what I didn't predict was seeing so many people online saying that this is Hassan's best look that he's ever presented on a bodybuilding stage. Oh, and shout out to Krishan over there at Goat Fitness for putting this collaboration together. Make sure you go subscribe to Goat Fitness. But look, I think the reason people are saying that this is the best version we've seen of Hassan is the combination of roundness, fullness, and conditioning this time around. It's not often that he'll bring all three. At the 2022 Orlando Pro, I would say that he would have the conditioning, but here in Vancouver, it looks like he just found a better balance between size and being shredded, you guys. And he does look absolutely bursting full here, and I do agree that this looks to be the best Hassan Mostafa we've ever seen on a bodybuilding stage. So like I mentioned, the top two did come down to Hassan and Stanimal, and really, I think Stan did hold his own against Hassan. I think Stan has the superior conditioning, more separation through the legs for sure, the midsection looks better, almost harder if that makes sense. He looks harder through the chest, but just the overwhelming size of Hassan and the fact that his conditioning is, well, frankly good enough here, I think is going to get him the victory. And I will say, Hassan deserves this victory. After 3 attempts and 2 second place finishes this season, as long as Hassan shows up as good at the finals as he did at prejudging, it looks like Hassan will finally earn his Olympia qualification. We'll take a look at all the competitors in this lineup after the finals, but for now, let me know in the comments below if you think that this is the best version of Hassan Mostafa we've seen to date. So, in other pro show news, the Atlanta Pro was also happening this weekend, and I wanted to take a quick look at the Classic Physique division. So the winner in Classic was a competitor named Carlos Dommar. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly, and I think the overall balance of size and conditioning really got Carlos the victory here. He did look the most overall balanced in this lineup, and his presentation really looked to be spot on here as well. Now, for you guys that follow my channel, I had my eye on Matt Greggo going into the Classic Physique division this weekend. So Matt ended up taking 4th place in this lineup, and he did look like one of the bigger guys on stage, but the feedback from the judges is that he could have been a bit harder going into this show. But, you know, I guess Matt still feels pretty optimistic that he can snag that Olympia qualification, because he's moving on to compete at the Chicago Pro next weekend, which kind of surprised me actually. I thought Matt was going to shut it down for the rest of the season, but either way, I'm looking forward to seeing him compete again next weekend, so best of luck to Matt. Congratulations to Carlos Dommar on the victory in Atlanta and the Olympia qualification, and I'll keep you guys posted on Matt's progress. Now, we may have another unexpected show announcement here, you guys. Joe Seeman dropped a hint on his Instagram that he just might be sitting at 18 weeks out, which would land him on stage at the EVLS Prague Pro. And look, after finishing 4th place in the New York Pro earlier this season, I thought Joe was shutting it down to go back and make some improvements. But Joe would be an exciting addition to the Prague Pro. We already know that Kriza was going to be there. EVLS is one of his biggest sponsors, and you know, you gotta consider, how interesting would a comparison be between Joe Seeman and Michael Krizo? Joe is currently sitting around 281 pounds. He's a legitimate mass monster, same as Krizo is, and I just think it would be a really interesting comparison to see these two guys standing side by side on a bodybuilding stage. I do think Krizo would win the battle at the end of the day, but I've always been impressed by the overall size of Joe Seeman, the level of conditioning that he brings to the stage as well, and for a guy that has a wider rib cage, when he hits a vacuum, he actually does an excellent job utilizing presentation to hide his flaws. So look, we'll see if Joe officially announces he's joining the Prague Pro, and I'll keep you guys posted. Alright, so last up for you guys, Ross Flanigan is currently sitting at 16 weeks out of the Olympia, and after hitting his rebound following his California Pro victory, Ross is sitting at a very impressive looking 260 odd pounds. And the only thing that Ross needs is more overall size. You know, he said it himself after the prejudging at the California Pro. He has the shape, we know he can bring the conditioning, and I think following his rebound, I think a few extra pounds did stick to his physique. His legs were always massive from the front, but you know, they even looked like they ballooned up some more. He looks like he may have gained some quality size through the arms too. Of course, he's still wide as a hose from the back, but when Ross adds more size on top of his superior shape and conditioning, this is a guy that I think can continue to move up the ranks and continue to make his way to the Olympia stage for years to come. I don't think that Cali was a fluke by any means, and I do think that Ross has the overwhelming mindset of continual progression. The guy will not allow himself to give anything short of his absolute best effort, no matter what. No excuses, and you know what? It's a good lesson for us all. So let me know down in the comments how you guys think Ross is looking after finishing his rebound, and how do you guys think Ross Flanigan is going to do at the Olympia? Anyway, that's it for me in this video, you guys. Thank you for tuning in to EP09. Be sure to like and subscribe.